For billions of years, Earth was a silent, blue marble in the cosmos, its existence marked only by the gentle rotation of continents and the slow march of evolution. Then came July 16, 1945. The day we broke that silence. At the Trinity site in New Mexico, humanity achieved something spectacular and terrifying, the first successful detonation of an atomic weapon. We sent an unmistakable, powerful, and instantaneous signal across the galaxy: we had mastered self-destruction. This event, many belief systems and researchers argue, triggered an immediate, existential response from the outside. They did not arrive out of curiosity regarding our progress, but out of alarm regarding the cosmic threat we had suddenly become. The question we must now confront is this: are unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, the unwilling guardians, holding the safety key to our collective nuclear doomsday? This is not a fringe theory. We dive deep into the evidence, from the high-ranking officer testimony to documented missile shutdowns, that these entities are not here for our technological advancement, but because of the unprecedented threat posed by humanity's capacity for global annihilation. The pattern of UAP sightings is not random, it is perfectly mapped to our strategic nuclear assets. The theory of strategic, nuclear-focused surveillance begins with one of the U.S. Air Force's own high-ranking officials. Major General George C. McDonald, a respected officer, stated for the record that there was a direct, undeniable correlation between periods of intense UFO activity and U.S. nuclear facilities. McDonald's admission, often buried in military archives, validates the hypothesis that these objects were following a clearly defined protocol. He and others within the military establishment believed these objects were continually appearing over the Nevada test site throughout the 1950s and 60s. This was not a coincidence. The era following 1945 saw dozens of atmospheric tests, each one a raw demonstration of power. Why would extraterrestrial entities spend valuable resources observing an empty desert? The answer, according to the surveillance theory, is chillingly simple: they were there to assess and calibrate. They weren't scouting the desert, they were assessing the destructive payload and the environmental fallout of our weapons. Every flash, every mushroom cloud, was meticulously catalogued by an unseen, silent observer. This suggests an intelligent, systematic program of strategic oversight focused entirely on the most dangerous capability of humankind. These were not random flyovers, they were intelligence missions focusing on ground zero of the nuclear age. Our strategic map of UAP surveillance takes us across the Atlantic to Europe. The date is August 13, 1956, and the location is RAF Lakenheath, England. This was a critical base, not just for the Royal Air Force, but for the U.S. Strategic Air Command, serving as a primary storage site for American strategic nuclear weapons during the height of the Cold War. Over the course of several hours, multiple UAPs were reported. The sightings began with ground crews and quickly escalated to the control tower. The objects were described as large, metallic, and incredibly fast. More importantly, they were tracked, not just visually, but meticulously on ground radar. Fighter jets from both the RAF and the U.S. Air Force were scrambled to intercept. But the pilots reported complete frustration. The UAPs effortlessly evaded pursuit, demonstrating maneuverability far exceeding any known earthly technology. Crucially, radar logs indicated that at least one object hovered directly over the designated nuclear weapons storage area, a hot zone, for an extended period. The subsequent investigation by the Air Force's Project Blue Book attempted to explain the incident as weather balloons or thermal inversions. But internal documents and the sheer volume of high-level military witnesses, including detailed radar reports, strongly counter this official dismissal. From New Mexico's initial blast to the vital nuclear deterrent bases in Britain, a clear pattern emerges: the UAPs are not mapping geography, they are mapping the concentration points of our strategic self-destruction. While monitoring is concerning, the Malmstrom incident of March 16, 1967, remains the single most compelling piece of evidence regarding active, physical intervention. This is where surveillance shifts to control. At Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, the 341st Missile Wing controlled Minuteman I nuclear missiles, the backbone of America's land-based nuclear deterrent. The events began when Lieutenant Robert Salas, then a first lieutenant, was on duty in the Underground Launch Control Center, LCC. Above ground, security personnel reported seeing a large, glowing, pulsating red object hovering silently just over the perimeter. Then came the shock. Inside the LCC, the alarm lights flashed red. One by one, in rapid succession, 10 Minuteman nuclear missiles, each ready to launch a nuclear warhead, went into a no-go status. Deactivated. Simultaneously, Salas's immediate superior, Captain Fred Maywald, confirmed the entire flight of missiles was rendered inoperable. This was not a system malfunction. It was an event of controlled, specific electromagnetic disruption. An entire flight of strategic missiles, each a world-ender, was shut down instantly following the observation of a UAP. The military's response was immediate and focused on absolute silence. Salas and his colleagues were debriefed and explicitly ordered never to speak of the event. Yet, their testimony, given under oath and at significant personal risk, remains ironclad. This event provides the ultimate answer: can they intervene? The answer is an unambiguous yes. They demonstrated absolute, non-destructive control over our most potent weapons, proving they have the capability to neutralize our apocalyptic threat at will. The narrative of nuclear protection culminates with the Rendlesham Forest incident in December 1980, often called Britain's Roswell. Here, once again, the UAP activity was directly tied to a nuclear weapons storage facility, this time near RAF Woodbridge, Bentwaters. The most crucial evidence comes directly from the military chain of command, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, the deputy base commander. Halt and his team spent 3 nights recording eyewitness testimony and pursuing the phenomena. In his official internal memo, a document that is now public, Halt described the object as moving silently, emitting light, and most importantly, it appeared to be studying the area. He detailed how the object hovered over the weapons storage bunkers and even fired beams of light onto the ground in the immediate vicinity of the weapons silos. If the objective wasn't nuclear deterrence, why display such superior capabilities repeatedly at the most sensitive military installations, including disabling our missile systems? The events at Malmstrom and Rendlesham offer a clear interpretation: they are monitoring the trigger. The modern era, however, signals a shift. The era of complete cover-up is ending. Today, the formation of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, and the consistent testimony before Congress signal a profound admission: the U.S. government knows there is a third, non-human entity involved in the nuclear deterrence equation. Recent legislative efforts explicitly demand the analysis of historical UAP data, focusing intensely on the link to military exclusion zones and strategic assets. Reports from Navy pilots continue to demonstrate the superior speed and maneuverability of these objects near nuclear assets, including aircraft carriers. From the first blast at Trinity to the silent shutdowns at Malmstrom, these are not random events. They are precisely calibrated warnings, timed and located with surgical precision. Perhaps, by neutralizing our nuclear capability, these unseen entities are fulfilling a cosmic mandate, protecting not just humanity from itself, but the broader galactic neighborhood from atomic contamination. We reached the peak of our potential for self-destruction, and perhaps, we have been saved from the consequences of our own terrifying genius. The final question is this: will we learn the lesson, or will we forever require the nuclear guardians to keep us from destroying ourselves? Let us know in the comments below. Do you believe this intervention is a form of supreme protection,